So I'm going to demonstrate one way to make grungy aged tape, and you can do it easily with these alcohol markers. I don't have any alcohol inks to use, but I do have these alcohol markers, and mine happen to be in flesh tones, which go from beige to like a pink. So it's a beautiful thing when you can use what you already have. This is just dollar store tape, the cheap shiny stuff, which tends to look the most authentic. So I'm just going to take a piece and lay it onto this label backing paper from some old, I don't know, labels from Staples, maybe shipping labels or something. And then I'm going to take, oh, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, just any sort of brown top beige color and scribble onto this piece of tape. And then I'll take a darker color maybe and come in a couple spots. Really, there's no pattern to it. It doesn't matter. Anything you like is good. Then a little bit of alcohol. Now this is medical grade alcohol because I use it for cleaning negatives, photo negatives, but you can use any generic drugstore alcohol. And then you simply start dabbing. And I always start with dabbing and then see what pattern comes from it. And you know, I kind of like that old stained, almost as though moisture might have been involved. And now that tape is stained. So I would leave that one, I like it. But you could also, I'll do another one quickly, smaller piece down here. See, it is cheap tape, so you really have to encourage it to cut. So I'm going to put another piece here. I'm going to use the same colors, more or less. Yep, but always use the fat tip if you have a choice. Scribble. And then, because I can't leave well enough alone, I'll use another color. And then, same thing, there's still plenty of alcohol on this. I'm just going to smear it. And by doing that, the tape just has a smeared color to it. More blended is the word I'm looking for. But it's still definitely colored. Now I just did take off most of that, so let me add a little bit more. Let's try this color. Again, using the fat edge. And since there was already some alcohol on the tape, you know, I would just leave that alone. The edges are nice and brown, as though maybe some oxidation happened under the edges at a future date. So I'm not going to play with that. But you could just keep experimenting. And what I tend to do is to do a couple sheets of these at once. I don't use this too often in my journals, but you know, sometimes, I mean, clearly this page needed it. But so I don't make tons of it, and it's also so easy to make when you sit down to work that, but I do make some of it, so I always have some handy. So now I'm looking at this tape that dried that I made just a few minutes ago, and it's now dry, and I'm not enjoying the harsh edge of this and my fingerprint. So I'm going to add a little alcohol to the same rag and just kind of smear it around until I get something that looks to me a little bit more organic, and that's actually really nice. So there you have it. I'm going to leave it like that, and this will be available the next time I overdo it and stain too much paper and they rip, or any other purpose. So that's it. Enjoy the day. I thought I would just hop back on and mention, you know, I recommended using the shiny tape because it has a little bit more of an aged feel. But frankly, the Scotch Magic tape or whatever, the kind that's a little bit more opaque, it's slightly opaque, works equally well. And I've used that too, and I do use that. And actually the alcohol markers tend to give it just a little bit more shine. So here, I'll cut a piece off and just stick it to a piece of paper. So maybe you can see the difference. I'll stick it here as though they tried to fix it twice. Go around the edge with this. So you can see there is a different finish to it, but not so much that you couldn't use any tape you had in the house. So again, I prefer this because it does have that little bit older flavor, but this would do the job and certainly mimic the effect. So there you go. You can use any tape you like.